Alright, happy Wednesday everyone, let's get straight into it. Market check for today. Gold. We'll begin with Forex, as we normally do. We are back to bearish in Forex. And now we are bearish on the 4 hour as well. So we could be seeing a turn of change in sentiment at the moment. Still bullish on the daily, that is fine. Actually, technically speaking, we're bearish on the daily? No. Let's draw some structure, guys, as always. If you don't know where we're trending, draw a structure. It's pretty simple. Technically, that's an SFP. We're bearish now. Yep. Yes, we are bearish. I think I would have changed this, but then forgot to save. I'm not too sure. But I do remember the daily being bearish, which is why I'm a little confused, but that's all right. Nevertheless, we do have a potential accumulation range here, but it is, as you can see, fairly counter context. Like so. Not the nicest range, to be completely honest. Like, you've got your tab. Technically, it's a already confirmed model 1 because you got your tab 1, 2, and 3 right here, with this being your Wyckoff high. But then you have left really nice lows behind, like really nice sell side liquidity here, which you would think would get taken out. So I'm kind of expecting something like this to occur. Maybe we come up, but it's also fairly likely that we just keep doing this and continue the downward trend. So that is still very possible. But yeah, we'll see what happens. And then we can have this being liquidity. In terms of supply, this has ever so slightly been mitigated. Yeah, that's it for gold. I'm not really interested in doing anything further, especially it's a terrible schematic. So yeah, we will move forward onto the next. And yeah, and it's no return to zone. It's against context. Like, there's just no reason to be taking this long. Full stop. Silver might be a slightly different story. On the hourly, we're still bearish on the hourly, guys. If we deviated this tap right here, which you can see we have not. If we went lower than this, even weaker, then this could be our market structure high, and this would have been a valid break of structure on the bullish side, but it's not. We have not deviated this, so now we're still ranging internally between this swing low, if you want to call it that, and then the hourly market structure high, which is actually up here. So this one move, wrong drawing. This is an hourly move. This is hourly market structure, and now we're just trending in between. So we haven't broken the hourly high, and we have not broken the hourly low. So whatever happens here, we're still in a hourly downtrend. And this is just internal market structure. We're probably, yeah, we're still in a fairly downtrend. Maybe there's some overlapping supply here, maybe. Regardless, we've kind of mitigated it already, but I can put it to the test to see if we did have overlapping supply. Not really. Like, you have overlapping, but it's been mitigated, so this is not to be used as supply. If anything, I would like this to be more of an extended range where we mitigate quite a bit of the supply down here, and then we slowly come back down, creating a nice buy side return to zone. So yeah, at the moment it's way too abrupt for me to take any sort of longs here. And as I mentioned, they are counter context. Yeah, so that is silver for now. Still bearish across the board, and weekly is still bullish, so that is fine. Yep. Not much has changed for the time being for silver. Sweet. Let's have a look at oil. Well, this potential distribution, we don't know yet what it is, but this range is still valid for now. Yeah, we are still bearish on the hourly and probably the 4 hourly. Still bullish on the daily. Like, even when we're still bearish overall, the distribution is very much so favored here, but it's just a matter of will we get it, you know what I mean? Because right now it looks like we're going to be kind of coming back down, and maybe doing something like this, which I wouldn't rule out. Maybe a very low time frame accumulation scalp, which we can then take into this 4 hour market structure high. I'm not ruling it out. So we will see. Let's move to AUD CAD. This has obviously been invalidated. We remain bearish there. I don't think the daily is still bullish. No, it is. I stand corrected. Yeah, like we're still... Nothing has really changed contextually wise here. I do think that we will get a slow move back up into the supply, which we can then potentially short. Something like that. Yeah, not much has changed here. AD cat, just be patient. USD CHF. This could be looking really, really nice. Context is very much for. We are also in supply. I've just removed the context there. I just realized. All right, let's reassess this. All right, pull that like so. Yeah, we are still bearish on the hourly. I don't think we're bullish on the... No, sorry, my bad. We are very much bullish on the hourly. Yeah. Very much so bullish on the hourly there. My apologies. However, knowing the higher time frame is bearish, we can look for potential distribution still, so that nothing changes in that regard. So I will draw my range. And yeah, this could be a perfect, this little distribution locally could be a perfect swing point for just a continuation of market structure. Like expectational order flow is a lower high for a lower low, and so far so good. We're in supply. Like contextually speaking, I would be taking this with like 1% risk. If we even have sessions involved here, like Asia lows not yet swept, then this could be really full. This could be a really nice pro context opportunity here. No real demand in here either. Like this looks really nice. Oh, do we have demand in here? We did, but it's been mitigated. Yeah, I like this quite a bit. Asia lows below. This is actually really nice. Really, really nice. Asia lows are sitting here. Listing it moves to the top. No wick there as well, which I do feel like can get swept. That's a good, very good sign. $16-hour range, yeah. Keep a big eye out on USD CHF, guys. Given we move something like this. Well, I'm hoping we don't get a confirmation at like 4 AM, but this could be very likely that we do. But yeah, see what happens there. Alerts have been set. GBP, JPY. Don't need this anymore. Now with GBP JPY, we could maybe accumulate here. I'm not a fan of these wicks. Not at all. Technically speaking, this is extreme liquidity. So we will see what happens here. But we know that this higher distribution, higher time frame distribution is potentially at play, so we can allow ourselves to potentially take longs into, you know, this high time frame distribution. So that's what I am looking at now. Yes, we do have demand below, but it doesn't necessarily mean it will get mitigated anytime soon. Also considering we have this demand chain here, which is formed quite nicely. Yeah, like if we get a slow pullback in here and a clean break of structure, oh, my apologies, and a clean break, then yeah, I'll happily enter this. So I'd put in more hyped up tunes, guys, but YouTube copyrights me, so unfortunately I can't. But yeah, like I do like a return to zone here, even coming from up from like here. And yes, there is supply, but it's outside of our range regardless. But yeah, like the return to zone from here is decent. So yeah, we will see what happens here. The supply here hasn't quite been mitigated. However, from a session perspective, the Asia highs are here, so this will be a good magnet which can probably outweigh the supply that we have. So yeah, just because there is supply here doesn't, like, I'm still taking it into consideration, but the fact that the Asia highs are here, which you can see as so, and they have been taken out as well, like, it's a very good liquidity target. So just keep that in mind. So yeah, we will see what happens here. USD CAD. Is approaching, or has approached this tap 3, but this demand is kind of useless because this low doesn't grab anything. Session wise, like, you have Asia lows here. Just don't like the return to zone. There's none essentially. And we're continuing to go higher. Contextually speaking, context is going to be very important here. Yeah, bullish. Yeah, technically speaking, we're still bullish here. Like, we broke to bearish. No, we're just still bullish actually. Because these are all just inside bar candles, so yeah, still bullish, that's fine. 4 hour is still bullish. Daily is bearish, is that correct? Yes. And then weekly is, yeah, still bullish with the ever so slight break of structure there. Very weak break of structure, but a valid break of structure. So yeah, contextually speaking, like, you're in like a semi-pro context for being bullish, but return to zone is it's not bad locally, to be honest. Like, could you use this as demand? You can, but it just doesn't really grab, it doesn't do anything. Then you have your 1 minute mark structure low is obviously right there. Nothing on the 2 minute, like nothing on the 2 minute. And you have left, like, yeah guys, I'm just not a fan of this range, full stop. It's not clean. You got your 5 minute market structure right there. And we haven't actually deviated this as a Model 1. So yeah, I'm not going to be taking an entry for the sake of taking an entry here. Like you do have this low there. Your 1 minute market structure low. Yeah, I just don't like it. Plain and simple. We're outside of our range values. Like, I'm still curious to see how this develops, but and then you can't draw that. It's just not a clean. Yeah, like what I'm doing now, guys, is what you shouldn't be doing is just trying to force a setup, like trying to convince yourself that a setup's nice when it isn't. I'm curious to see how this candle closes. Very interesting price action at the moment. As in terms of a convincing break, in terms of a convincing break, it is a convincing break. You're just too bullish. This could be good for the journaling, but I'm not interested. Like if you were to enter on a pullback, like yeah, you'd get yourself a decent 8 risk reward setup, but the only thing I like about this is the break. That is pretty much it. And we've also, like, keep in mind, guys, that we have ran... yeah, I'm not going to be entering this. Full stop. I will move on. Which, you know, we'll check back on this later. We'll see what happens. AUD USD is next. We are still SFPing at daily low here. Meaning we are still bullish on the daily. Technically speaking, we have actually broken to bearish on the daily. as that's technically our daily low, which I may have just overlooked. Because this is not an inside bar candle, this is valid market structure. And we have two consecutive bullish here. Yeah, this is valid market structure, so we are therefore bearish on the daily. I no longer need that. Yeah, and then still bullish across the board here. Yeah, nothing really too chart at the moment for AUD USD. Nothing currently of interest. Context remains the same. Yep. Okay, Euro USD. Weekly we are still bearish. Daily we are still bearish. Yep. Yeah, looking at daily market structure. Broke structure there. Now this is just internal structure. So yes, that remains. 4 hourly, what were we on the 4 hour? Bearish. That remains, and then yeah, still bearish. I can see it from a mile away. So yeah, we're still fairly bearish. Not really interested in that supply. That can go, range can go. Oh, did I remove the? I've done this like twice now. Boom. Very bearish Euro USD at the moment. The only thing I don't mind about this is that there's no real supply. Like, all the supply that was created here has been mitigated, as you can see. So we'll see what happens. We do have a 3-minute market structure here. Well, here's the fast move up. Do we deviate this? I feel like we continue going higher. Remember the context, guys. Bullish, bullish. We're just bearish on the daily. Like, there is heavy supplies all above, which hasn't been mitigated. So we could come up higher. And look how aggressively we moved up, like leaving behind demand. Whenever this happens, this is your sign to de-risk. If you haven't, like, especially if this candle closes and you've got structured demand below, like that. So just be aware there. Yeah. Yeah, we didn't have anything on AUD USD. Euro USD, we'll see what happens. We've got that market structure high. And then I think nothing changed. Yep, nothing changed from a context perspective. Are we still bullish on the alley? I don't think so. Once again, I can be wrong. Just off the bat, I'm seeing this as a potential range. We are, yeah, okay, yes, I remember when we were with this yesterday, our aim was for us to come back in and get a accumulation where this demand is. Something like that. But yeah, ideally I'd like to get an accumulation scalp once entering this demand. We are still bullish on the... Yes, we're still bullish on the daily. Oh, sorry, not on the daily, on the hourly. And we still are bearish across everything else. Okay, interesting. The one thing I don't like about this is I can already see some sort of supply. Yeah, like I'll use this as a supply. USD CAD. And we've also taken out both Asia high and low. So just be aware there. Yeah, not a clean range. And when looking at our volume profile, I feel like it will be aligned with some part of this supply. There you go, perfect. Volume area high at a supply POI. Not ideal. We'll leave that there, but yeah, this probably will not work out. USD CAD, we had some alerts at. Interesting, we've ran through demand and we've wicked that. And we are approaching our 5-minute market structure low. This could be interesting. This could be very, very interesting. Yeah, you can see here already because of the week's price is kind of at a where do I go now sort of phase, but yeah, we'll see what happens. GBP USD, we've done that. NZD CAD. Was I supposed to change anything on GBP USD? No, that remains the same. Okay, NZD CAD. We are bullish on the hourly. That remains the same. Four hourly does remain bearish. Daily stays bullish. Okay, got a few things to play with contextually speaking. We might also have an accumulation already confirmed here. Yeah, we do have a potential model 1 here already confirmed. I will be looking for re-entry opportunities. Asia highs are also here. It's not the worst, not the best model. We've got clear demand below it, which I believe has not yet been mitigated. So already this could be a fairly decent re-entry point. If we get a slow push back into this demand, then yeah, I'm happy to long. It is the type of range that does look to have an extended tap. From a supply perspective, whatever supply was here has been mitigated, just. Although it's not clean, as you can see. I have a feeling this supply has been mitigated that was here. Or just. It is a mitigation though, but ever so slightly. And then did we have something in here is my question. But it is to know that you do have the, yeah. You have overlapping. You've got Asia lows, but then you've also got overlapping supply. Like this is valid. So this is valid. The fact that it is overlapping here isn't necessarily a concern, but it's just something to be mindful of. And then you do have Asia highs here, which, as you know, are a really nice liquidity magnet to attract price. But point being is, if this continues, what I'm starting to see now, and we just get a slow move into this demand with a nice break of structure, that is my cue to enter. I will happily enter that. So yeah, we'll see what happens there. Is this aligning any sort of... Yeah, Asia highs being there is quite nice. To be fair, I sort of overlook this. We have London highs, New York highs. No, New York's taken London. Okay, we have Asia. We have Asia low below, and Asia high has been taken, which is not what I like, but it like sort of throws a spanner in the works, because we were kind of relying on the Asia high as being a liquidity magnet, which is now no longer there. So you have an Asia low which hasn't been taken out. Contextually, it's like semi-pro context. Yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll see how price decides to move. Yeah, Asia high has been taken. All right, yeah, I'll set the alerts. I'm sort of still sticking to what I said. Worst case, if entry permits me, if we get a nice return to zone, convincing break, then I'm just going to pay attention when we approach this supply, how we react. And then if we convincingly break structure back to bearish, then I'm just going to de-risk the position, or exit, which will still put me at a profit. So that's fine. If we do respect this demand and we move up convincingly, then I don't really think we'll grab this Asia low, at least not until New York. So that's also something to note. So yeah, we'll see what happens there. Let me check on USD CAD for a minute. Yeah, this will be interesting to see what happens here. I do still think higher overall. Yeah, and then that is NZDCAD. I'm going to quickly stand up just to stretch the legs a little bit. All right, we have not ran through, but we are in supply here. Have I removed the context again? Or is there just no context here? I have removed the context. Nice. Bro, what am I doing? I seriously think I didn't get close to that at all, actually. Okay. Hourly bullish and entirely bullish? I don't think so. I think we're now bearish. Very close. We're still borderline bullish now, but we're very close to being bearish, depending on when this closes in about half an hour's time. So as of now, we are still bullish, like borderline, and that will mean that everything else is still bullish, yeah, except for the daily and the weekly, probably. Yeah. Okay. So we're still pro being bullish, pro distributions. Unfortunately, this is not a valid distribution as of now, because we have pretty much deviated this range low. So I'll not be looking at that from a distribution perspective anymore. Not much more to do here, really. Yeah. I will, however, set an alert here just in case we start coming up. Sweet. AUD against the Swiss franc. Okay, this is now invalidated itself. That liquidity isn't really required at the moment. One hour is still bearish, and then probably 4 hour would still be bearish. Yes, daily would still be bearish. A daily is bullish, my apologies. Yeah, daily is bullish. And then weekly is bearish. Yeah. Yes, that is very correct. Okay, so pretty much everything but daily is bearish, so we can expect to go lower. We are actually leaving a really nice return zone below, but there's just no distributive price behavior as of yet. Yeah, there's just no distributive price behavior for me to go off, so I'm kind of leaning towards us getting some maybe local scalp here. Other than that, that's kind of it. Alright, yeah, this USD JPY range has completely been invalidated. And we are still bullish on the hourly. During structure, we are trending up. We've technically broken structure there, so we are now bearish on the hourly. Bearish on the hourly. We are bullish. Yeah, we're bullish on the 4 hour. Obviously, probably still be bearish on the daily. That is fine, yeah. I just don't like this price action. I seriously do not like this price action. Like, we've kind of grabbed every piece of supply, at least here. Maybe we get some form of range form like that. Yeah. I just don't like this. Is this too, like, invalid? I feel like it kind of would be. Like, you've deviated there. I just don't like it personally, speaking. Like, we can use this as extreme liquidity and see what price decides to do. It's just not the cleanest range though. Like, context does align. I guess with this, the one thing I would say is we can use this for now, or we will use this for now, but then if we continue going higher, then I will be looking at pulling this as my new range. Yeah, so that's kind of the idea here. If we sweep this extreme liquidity but continue going higher, then I will, even if we break structure convincingly, I'm not too interested. I'm going to be looking at this as being a new range. So that is the plan of attack here. At least for now. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Like right now, locally, it's not bad. We're forming some nice. Ooh, have we got demand there? This could be. This could be pivotal to know. Okay, very clean demand there. This slightly changes my, I mean, if we mitigate demand, then perfect, even better. But this is valid demand at the moment. So, we'll see. Tab-wise, I feel like we're good in that remark. I can, of course, be wrong. Okay. Tab 1 to 2 is 1 day 10 hours. 1 day 10 hours, and then tab 2 to present is 17 hours. Okay, so we have until about. It's not bad. We have until 21st of May, 10:15 a.m. 21st of May, 10:15 a.m. I'd kind of be looking at this as the maximum range duration here for a confirmation of a third tap. So we will see what happens. Like, return to zone doesn't look bad, but I just want to see a mitigation of this demand. And this could be, this could actually be like an alright model. We'll see. Alright. GBP AUD. What are we saying? Okay, this still so far so good. Our little model here. Okay, we're now bullish on the. We are now bullish on the 4 hour. We're still. Ooh, we might be. Actually, we might still be bullish on the hourly. I do think. No. Oh, it's dependent on this candle closure. But regardless, there's no real local range here, so that's gonna. I'm just leaving this as is for now. Yeah. Just gonna leave it as is. What's happening here? Okay, daily is bearish. Weekly is. Weekly is bullish. And then I think everything else remains bearish, yeah. This could be it's not the nicest model, but you do have some form of distribution here. I just don't like it. I just don't like it. Yeah, not much more to do here. Sentiment hasn't really changed. Okay. We are definitely bearish on the hourly here. Yeah, I'm gonna count this as bearish now. Unless we get a miracle pull back up, and that's just a massive week, but I will make a assessed guess and go bearish on the hourly. Daily still bullish. Yeah, daily is still bullish actually. Everything else is still bullish, so at least in the short term, if we continue to come back up, then I just don't think we will. I just don't think we will. If we mitigate this extreme supply and obviously create the return to zone, then we could short here into demand, but only if. So yeah, we'll see what happens here. I'm gonna have to start organizing some of these so they're a bit more accurate. Bearish. Yeah, still bearish. 4 hour. Still bullish on the 4 hour. And still bearish on the daily, so. And then yeah, weekly remains. So overall fairly bearish across the pair, but not a whole lot of movement in the market at the moment for this. Not really valid supply, maybe something in there. Then you do have some form of local supply in here. That's kind of it. Yeah. So that was it. That's it for Forex. I'm going to take a quick bathroom break and then I will go and do crypto. So if you were looking for crypto, then watch the next video. We had to sum up. Go from what's USD Swiss franc doing? yeah, so potential distribution model here. Keep a big eye out on this. Euro USD as well. We'll look for a pullback into this tap, into the supply from tap 2 to create a potential tap 3. USD CAD. Price still doesn't really know what it wants to do. Not a whole lot. AUD CAD. Potential model here, GBP JPY. Potential. And it kind of does align with our higher time frame. Not a whole lot happening. AUD USD. Same thing. Potential model 2. I'd look for this, just because we have deviated quite a bit. Depending on how we break structure, I'd be looking for something like this. Boom. Keep an eye out here. This is pretty ugly. And then yeah, other than that, everything else is kind of just stick to the plan. This could be pushed up. Yeah. Yeah, and other than that, just stick to the plan, guys. Have your alerts set. And yeah, this could be okay as well, so we'll move that up as well. And yeah, that's all I got for today. We'll do crypto next, and yeah, stay alert, stay disciplined, and I will catch you all on the next one. Peace.